So, Brad, 4-0 loss today. What are your thoughts on the game?
Got exactly what we deserved. I said to them, I knew we were coming into this basically trying to firefight a little bit, just with obviously selection issues, but it's something I'd never try and shy away and make excuses for, because it should be irrelevant at this level of football. You should want to make and not want to drop your standard as much as happened. And I've been away for the last 2 weeks, but still had a hand on everything, and I kind of knew what I thought I was coming back to and what form we was in. But seeing it firsthand today was a bit of a shock to the system. And what I've said after, I'm not one of these who makes false promises. I say everything I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. That I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't pivot a little bit after these 3 games. It's not good enough for what I want this squad to achieve. It's not good enough for the last 3 games, but the performance levels, regardless of the people missing, it's the standards and happiness of wanting to drop your standard and sulking. Should be grown men, regardless of the age throughout the squad. You're grown men, but now we show what I'm made of. We show what the squad's made of, and moving forward from here, we have to make adjustments. So we will have a couple of players back from suspension for Tuesday, so the squad will look different. And as far as I'm concerned, the only way you can get out of a rut is attack it head on. And I'm not going to make any excuses. This is a little bit of a rut. I don't think I've experienced this at this level. But at the same time, I know what quality we have when we're going to be a bit stronger, and it's now making that squad a little bit stronger away from the 11-12. So I look at it now, and yeah, let's make some adjustments and attack the rest of the season.
Obviously, speaking about the squad and coming back into it, what was the thinking behind putting Aaron at centre back and not going with Betsy at centre back and Conan at right back?
Well, for one answer to that is I have a phone call this morning saying that someone's pretty much on death's door with illness, hence why they didn't play. The way you play against these, they play extremely narrow but good formation. They attack with their fullbacks, but you also means they leave them isolated, so we can attack from deep to high with fullbacks. Betsy is our best attacking fullback that we have available. And for half of the game, Coley's made some great clearances from crosses. He's done really well. So it should, again, like I said, it should be irrelevant, and that's the thought process. He's done really well at centre half in games. And yes, the second goal he switched off for. But as I've said to the squad, I understand the fine line of how good this squad is, but how fine the line is of if people are missing, what can happen. And I should never have to be in a position where I'm looking to play Coley at centre half. But I didn't want to cut all our limbs off going forward, because I thought we could create some really good stuff. If Betsy's quality is better in the first half, he got in some great areas to cross, whereas if he doesn't play, those don't happen at all, so then we are completely toothless. But the quality was dire as well. And as I've said to the boys, I don't work as hard as I do and work as hard as we do to come and watch that. Simple as that. So they understand my thoughts on it, and they've always understood where my standard is with this group of players. But it's as simple as that. It was unacceptable. I admire who we've played against because I love how they play. I love how they play, and that doesn't mean that I don't admire other people. I think there's some teams that are very good at what they do, but they are pretty much the only team that played that diamond so well. They moved about well. They wanted to commit people. They can mix between playing and going long. So I was aware of what today could potentially happen with obviously the selection at headaches, but we dealt with it for the 45 minutes, and divine intervention basically has stopped them from conceding and us going 1-0 up, where it's popped up and hit Ev on the shin in the middle of the goal. But then we've just gone and absolutely sank after. So we've lost to a good side. They've just gone and won 4, beat Carlton 4. I think they might have scored 4 the game that as well. So yeah, so they're in form. So we know that they're dangerous. But for half of that game, we were thinking, right, well, we can at least get a result from this, and I hate just thinking that, but that was genuinely what my thought process was. But I still believe we can hurt them, and unfortunately we don't take the chance, and then we went and folded, and that showed how weak the squad was today. But it's listen, nothing I'm concerned about over the season, because I understand how as I say, hard I work and how hard the lads work when everyone's on the same page. The team will look significantly different on Tuesday, so if we don't get a significantly different performance, I'd be extremely surprised. And then, yeah, let's go from there.
Obviously, you say about the team's going to be slightly different on Tuesday. That's more defensively, it's going to be different. Obviously, going forward, it'll be relatively the same.
Yeah, but we have started a lot of our attacks from the fact of having the base. Yeah. So we have a good base, and you're only as good as your base. I'm not one of these who wants to see my centre halves have more touches than a midfielder, because I want the midfielders involved. But we play a way where we have a lot of control of the ball. So if it's not as snappy as it should be, then okay, then we have to go through the next line. But if your back four is still set in, even if you have to change your style slightly, you are still more secure and you're still more fluent. So it's even though the defensive issues, what's a house built on? Good foundation. So as far as I'm concerned, if that's a little bit more normal, should we say, then I'd like to think that we'll get back to our free-flowing best. This is something I'm certainly not used to seeing us like this.
Well, I was just about to ask about, obviously, 1 goal in the last 3 games.
Yep.
Do you think it's more of a tactical tweak that's needed going forward?
No, it's a mentality shift. It's a mentality shift. Once you're in a rut, you have to show what you're made of. And we're getting in half-decent areas, but the quality in the final product is not there. I've watched it back. We weren't snappy enough at Rushden. The final product against Sutton, non-existent, should score after 15 seconds or whatever, but then we're not really peppering enough, or when we're in them positions, we're snatching at stuff. So it is pure quality, because if it was tactical, you still wouldn't be getting in the areas. So we're getting in the areas, but the quality has to raise. And that has to come from a mentality switch.
Can we, obviously Jake not being in the team today with his broken wrist, can we expect to see him on Tuesday, or is he staying?
Unfortunately not.
His wrist?
Unfortunately not. So our injured replacement, our injured left back, who we replaced with Jake, who's done fantastically well, is now injured. And then for today's game, who would have covered there in Keno is suspended. So as well as the drop off in form and the drop of standard, you've had some bad luck along the way there as well. So I'm pretty confident that doesn't last forever, because we'll work our way out of it. But yeah, unfortunately Jake's a little bit longer than we thought in terms of in the hard cast, so he can't physically play. But as soon as he goes into that soft gas, we're all good to go. So all guns blazing on to Tuesday, and I want to see a reaction from him.
That was just what I was about to ask. Can we expect a serious reaction on Tuesday?
Yeah, simple as that. Because if not, I'm going to have to pivot anyway. But I don't want to have to pivot more than what I think we have to, which is a small amount. So reaction is everything. I've got full faith in them. I do have full faith in them that they can react, but we have to show it. But as I said, we've lost to a good side. But it's irrelevant today. If it was good side, bad side, any side, we've lost 4-0, so we were the bad side. And trust me, I refuse to be a bad side at this level for long.